All right, getting ready for hand number 1. So first hand, Isaac's boss starting off with a raise, immediately getting 3-bet by Don Richard. El Chewy making the call with the pocket pair out of the big blind, and we are going 3 ways to a flop here at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. Huge flop for El Chewy, flopping a full house, and he's going to check to the aggressor. There's actually a 3-bet pot here, and nobody puts out the continuation bet. Isaac's boss turning a straight draw, which is going to be no good. And now El Chewy with the 8, put in a possible straight draw and a possible flush draw. He's going to start building the pot here. $75 bet into the $90. Isaac's boss going to be calling drawing dead. And Don Richard is going to let go of the ace queen. No queen or 7 for Isaac's boss. So he doesn't know it, but that's going to save him. Oh, El Chewy checking the river. Hoping his opponent would bluff since all of the draws missed. But his opponent did not bluff. So sneaky check by El Chewy there. He really didn't lose any money because even if he bet there, his opponent was going to be folded. All right, so hand number 2, we are playing a round of each tonight. We are starting off with Hold'em. Once the button gets to seat number 1, then we will play PLO. So the way that is... Oh, okay, I guess we're going to PLO this hand. Okay, so either when the button gets to seat 1 normally is when we change up the game. But changing it up here early as we have Fernando. Fernando going to be making the call with the jacks and diamonds. Isaac's boss with the 10s, no suits. Don Richard, I believe, making... Was there a $10 raise? Yeah, so... No, there wasn't a $10 raise. It was just 5 to go. All right, so just getting started, waiting on all the graphics to catch up here. So Big Spoon actually raised it to $10 on the button. Kind of an interesting raise. But we are going to the flop, and looks like that raise is going to work out for him as he flops trips. 2 clubs on the board. He should be putting out a bet. But it looks like Don Richard's going to bet his flush draw. Quick call from Big Spoon. It looks like Isaac Boss getting up. I think he's going to do an add-on after losing that first hand. 6 on the turn. The trip 7's a Big Spoon. 88% right now. Don Richard going to slow it down. Figures somebody either has a big pocket pair or a 7, and that is the case on both fronts. Don Richard looks like he's going to be chasing his flush draw here on the paired board. So you can see he has 2 outs in the deck left. And that's not one of them, although it does put out a straight on the board. Any 4 makes a straight. Now you would need another card to go with it since this is Omaha. Oh, it was actually Big Spoon that made a straight. So if you don't know, in Omaha, unlike Hold'em, you do have to play 2 cards from your hand. You can only play 3 cards from the board. So take, for example, in Omaha, in Hold'em, any 4 would have made a straight, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But in Hold'em, you need a second card to go with that. So any 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 7, then that would have been a straight. But it was actually Big Spoon going runner, runner, which essentially illustrates why when you're playing Omaha, you always need a redraw. So he flopped trips, but the hand that actually won was his 9-8. You always want the redraw in Omaha, which is why you see a lot of players play the high suited connectors, where if they flop a pair, then they have like a backdoor flush draw. Don Neto, El Jefe, has 2 suits and is just going to limp here under the gun. It is a little awkward since it is pot limit, where the most he could have raised there would have been 15. And you can see somebody raising it to that 15. Seat number 1, Bravo, the brave one, raising it with his king high flush draw. And we are going 4 ways to a flop of $61. Only one player with a pocket pair, that's the pocket 6s. But we can see Don Neto flopping top 2 pair, and he's going to check. So Don Neto playing this hand passive. 4 coming on the turn, changing nothing. See if Don Neto starts building up a pot here. Should be betting at least 40, but I think he announced pot. Yeah. He is potting it. So $65 bet. The dollar gets rounded up. Oh, El Chewy making the call here with his inferior 2 pair. And see if El Chewy needs a 4, but I believe all the 4s, yep, all the 4s have been voted. So El Chewy drawn dead. Does not want to see a queen. The 3 does complete a straight. And they're going to check it down, and El Chewy going to see that he was in bad shape. So Don Neto El Jefe going to be taking hand number 3 as we get settled in for our stream tonight. It's going to be a 4-hour stream. We are doing a round of each. $1, $2 are the blinds with a $5 bring-in. And yes, I realize normally the bring-in is reserved for Omaha as we're playing right now, but once we go to Hold'em, it's going to be the same setup. So essentially, if you want to limp, it's not going to be the $2, it's going to be $5. The reason why it's set up like that is makes it a lot easier for the software that's keeping track of the action. Of course, that software known as the Action Tracker. So action's going to be on Isaac's boss. He added on, and he's got an ace. He's double suited. He has pocket pair. Pretty good hand here, and he's going to pot it under the gun to 15. That's the most you can raise. That's assuming nobody has limped in. Oh, looks like everybody's going to fold. Fold it around to Don Neto. Don Neto also with a nice hand. He's only single suited, but he does have 2 high cards, the king and the jack. And the pocket eights still out in front right now. It's going to go check, check. Don Neto hitting his king, but Isaac's boss hitting a flush draw. And it's going to go check, check again. Diamonds get in there. No, excuse me, the straights get in there, and Don Neto has the straight with the ace-5. I don't think Isaac's boss is going to be able to call the river here, as he only has a pair of eights. Don Neto putting out a $35 bet, and he will make the fold. So I do mention this on every stream, and I do watch other streams as well, other streams from the Texas Card House, TCH Live. We are one of 4 streaming locations, but all the streams tend to play the same way at the beginning, where the first couple of hands or the first orbit, it's kind of like a feel-out period. So players will either play a lot tighter than they normally play or a lot looser than they normally play, trying to establish a table image. But once the button goes around once, the players tend to open up their game and play the way they would normally play. Don Richard, he's going to be making the call with the ace-king, pocket fours, does have hearts. And Bravo, he is going to be raising it up to 15. And a 3-bet incoming. It's a small 3-bet. No, nobody raises 15. Just trying to keep up with the graphics here. It is a lot to keep up with the 4 cards. But when you are playing the 4 cards, it is really fun. So many possibilities. So many possibilities. So Don Neto making this move out of the small blind. Don Neto with the 10s, 7-6. He is double suited. And it's going to come jack high. So somebody, I believe, flopped the set. So the card reader hasn't picked up the cards yet. You can see there's $210 in the pot. But normally, there we go. That way we can get the percentages here. You can see the ace-jack is only 15%. I think somebody has 5s or 6s. Let's see. Kings are 21%. No, nobody flopped the set, so it's going to be the Kings versus... Oh, El Chuy put it on a move here. Nice move from El Chuy as he flopped a pair. Got a little aggressive with it. Bravo with the jacks and the 8s does have diamonds, and he will be raising it up to 15. Big Spoon making the fold. El Chuy doing the same. Fernando makes the call. And looks like we are going 5 ways to a flop. No, 4 ways to a flop. Bravo with the best hand right now with the jacks, but a king comes on the flop. And Don Neto with the king. Bravo going to be putting out the continuation bet. Fernando going to be calling, has a straight draw, needing a jack. Also has backdoor spades. And I mentioned earlier, you always want to have some backup. So Doneto with the raise here, and Isaac's boss calling with a 9? Oh, 9-4, he has bottom 2 pair. But you can see Doneto has top and bottom. Six coming on the turn. Doneto with the lead still. Action is on Isaac's boss. Sporting the UT hat. Of course, college football playoffs actually started. First game is tonight. The Battle of Indiana. You have Notre Dame located in South Bend, Indiana, versus University of Indiana. So Doneto going to be potting it here. That's going to get the job done. So that pot's going to take Doneto up to the top, as we have 3 players in the green right now. Doneto, El Chewy, and Big Spoon. Everybody else in the reddest being Isaac's boss. So we'll see once the button gets back to seat 1 or 2, it's going to change to Hold'em. So this is a round of each. So normally it's every time the seat that the button gets to seat 1 that it changes, but I do know that we have new software for the streaming. I think the action tracker is saying, trips in your hand, that is not good. So Big Spoon should be folding this. Keep in mind, you're only able to play 2 of the cards. Yeah, so he's going to call. One of those 9s does have a suit to go with it, but you can see the suit is dominated by El Chewy. El Chewy has the 2 best hearts in his hand, the Ace-King, and he's going to raise it up here. Doneto going to be calling. Yeah, you can see Big Spoon having to fold his trip 9s in the hand, which is why I thought he would fold under the gun. Just because if somebody raises, then you're pretty much giving away $5 there. Jack high flop coming, so El Chewy, your initial aggressor, flopping top pair with a top and bottom, excuse me, top and bottom with a gut shot straight draw. I think he was trying to trap there, but everybody checked. And now a diamond comes, that might freeze things up. Nobody has diamonds. Yeah, it is going to freeze the action. And the river coming the queen. So El Chewy, your initial raiser, I think can feel fairly comfortable that nobody has diamonds here. And Don Richard going to be putting out a small bet, as he is just has pocket 5s. He actually has a 7. Don Richard's going to know that his 7 is no good. And El Chewy. El Chewy played on our stream on Wednesday night. We do stream on Wednesday nights on the secondary channel. So that pot's going to take El Chewy to the top now. And Don Richard going to put on a $10 button straddle. So if somebody's going to open the action first to act, it'll be 30. It'll be 3x the straddle. And then, of course, if somebody limps, then you'll add on the 5, so it'll be 35, and so on and so on. So action is going to be on Bravo. Bravo, as you can guess, translated to brave in English. Big Spoon, excuse me, going to be calling the straddle. El Chewy also going to be making the call. El Chewy with pocket 3s. Really don't think it's a great hand, but he just won the previous hand, so I think he's trying to play his rush here. And Don Richard has a hand he can raise with, and he is announcing pot. So it's going to be a $75 raise. So essentially you take the last action, which was a $10 call from Isaac Bosch, you multiply that by 3. So you get 30 there, and then whatever the trail is, whatever the previous calls are. So that's how the 75 is figured out. So Neto does have queen high spades, and I think Isaac's boss is going to feel like he's priced in here. Only has 7s and jack high clubs. You can see his clubs are bested by Fernando, but he does feel like he's getting priced in here. So he's looking for a 7. Doesn't want to hit a jack because we can see that Don Richard with the better jack. $301, 301. 301 jeans. And Don Neto going to be flopping a flush. It's not the best flush, it's the second best flush, but that's going to be good enough for Don Neto. He's got a saying, par es par. Essentially translates to a pair is a pair. So it's actually 321 in the pot, and Don Neto, I believe, betting. Yep, betting the 321. Basically, if anybody has the ace-high flush, they're getting all the chips. You can see Fernando actually folding bottom 2 pair. Bottom 2 pair normally not super strong, but especially in Omaha, it's very easy for somebody to have 3 of a kind. It's very easy for somebody to have top pair, top 2 pair, or top and bottom pair. So let's see if this is going to be hold'em. Yeah, so once it goes back to seat 2, it's going to be hold'em. So last hand of Omaha until the button gets back to seat 2. So I guess until hand 18, or playing 8-handed. So hand 17. So actions on Big Spoon. Ace Jack 9-7. If he had the ace of clubs, might want to be calling here, but keep in mind he is going to be out of position. I think if he was in late position here, he could be calling. But he disagrees with me. El Chewy making the fold. It's only $2 for Chewy, so the dealer will get the change here. The blinds are 1-2. The bring-in is $5. Something unique to Omaha, although we are going to be using it for the hold'em as well. Isaac's boss with queen high spades. And Bravo is going to check his option. Oh, Isaac's boss going to be flopping a flush draw and a straight draw. He actually has a wrap since he has the 2, 3, 4. So if he hits any of those cards, he will be making a straight. Top 2 pair for Big Spoon, and he's going to lead out here. So I was about to say, I think everybody else is going to be folding, but looks like Don Neto making the call here with a gut shot. He does have the king of spades, so maybe he was going to try to represent the nut flush if the flush came. Maybe that was his plan, but now Isaac's boss going to be putting on the pressure with his big draw. You can see he's actually favorite right now between all the hands. He has a flush draw and a wrap. Oh, Big Spoon going to be letting his hand go. Figures somebody might have a set. And that's going to put Isaac's boss on the board, finally winning a pot. And I believe we're going back to Hold'em now. So that pot's actually going to take him from the biggest loser to only a $10 loser. So the graphic on the lower left hand, it does say 125 PLO. But this is a round of each. And it's going to be a $5 bring-in for the Hold'em game too. It is unusual, but it makes the software work a lot easier. So this should be Hold'em. There we go. So action's actually going to be on. No, action is on Fernando. Don Richard with the sevens, taking it up to 25. Bravo with the immediate call with the ace-5. And the ace-10 also making the call of Gonzalo. He flops a flush draw. Looked like he was thinking about betting, but he does check it to Don Richard, and everybody's going to check. 9 on the turn. Gonzalo picking up a straight draw to go with his flush draw. And it looks like he's going to put out a $65 bet. So about a 2/3 pot size bet. Has a big draw. Don Richard with the best hand, but he has 3 overcards to worry about, plus a player behind. And that's going to get the job done. So this is Hold'em. We will change the game back to Omaha once the button gets to seat number 2. You can see the button in seat 3 now. Of course, the first seat to the left of the button is seat 1. And then it goes around from there. The last seat is seat 9 in this case. We're actually playing 8-handed right now. But we do have a seat open in this game. It's actually seat 5. Bravo with the suited ace, going to be raising it up to 15. And Fernando in the big blind. He actually only has $2 out there because the blinds are 1-2, but he's going to defend his blind, and we're going to be going heads up. He does have 2 live cards, but it is Bravo who's going to hit his ace, and he will put out a small bet. Looks like 20. That should get the job done. Fernando was actually playing earlier in the 1-3, was playing out on the main floor, and a seat became available. So they will post Don Neto's blind. There is some unique things for the stream, and that is one of the unique things, as you do get blinded out on the stream. So it looks like we're going to the flop heads up. El Chewy in bad shape, and now it gets even worse. As a matter of fact, he has 0 immediate outs, and he's going to be making the quick fold. So, let's see here. I believe it's three of these players. Yeah, 3 of these players playing on the stream for the first time. So seat 1 is Bravo. It's his first time playing on the stream. And then we have seat 4 and seat 6 as well. As I said, Fernando was actually playing the normal 1-3 hold'em out on the main floor and found out we had a seat open. So he said, well, let me give it a shot. So it is spelled Bravo, but es de Mexico, so it's pronounced Bravo. Kind of like the app. So both players missing. Bravo, the initial raiser. We'll see if he puts out the continuation, but he does not. Nice turn for Bravo, as now he picks up a straight draw and a flush draw. Don Neto going to be putting on a little bluff here, and he's going to get immediately raised. Quick fold from Don Neto. We do appreciate that. I'm sure everybody on the stream appreciates it as well. No need to Hollywood. So 3 players, first time playing on the stream, and we also have 3 players tonight joining us from Mexico. One of those being Bravo, and he picks up ace queen under the gun, takes it up to 15. Big Spoon going to be calling him with the king jack offsuit. And we are going 3 ways to a flop. Don Neto calling with the suited queen on the button. Bravo hitting the ace right off the bat, and he's going to check. Eight on the turn changes nothing. Let's see if Bravo puts out a bet, and it looks like he is. Puts out just under half, $20 into 48. Don Neto calling here with just the queen high. I don't know if he's planning on bluffing here, but Bravo's not going to let him. So we are in South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, located in South Texas, 3 hours south of San Antonio and 3 minutes north of Mexico. The area getting its name from the Rio Grande River, which of course is the natural barrier, the natural line between the United States and Mexico. So it's called the Rio Grande River in the U.S., but in Mexico it's just called the Rio Grande, as the word R-I-O is river. And it looks like we're going to have the last seat taken. So I believe I heard the name Baby Spider. So $10 button straddle from Don Richard. Don Richard also joined us de Mexico esta noche. He wanted me to work in some Spanish for his friends and family watching back home, so I will do my best. Gonza making the $10 call with the ace. Fernando raising with his suited king.
Service, table 9.
It looks like Isaac's boss going to be calling with his pocket pair. Don Richard going to be defending his blind. And Gonza does the same. So two players with suited kings, one player with a pocket pair. But the ace is coming on the flop. Doesn't have a great kicker. He's probably going to be checking here. Yeah, he does check. And Fernando, your pre-flop aggressor, flops a pair and a backdoor flush draw. He is going to be betting 50 here. Oh, and Gonza folds. So that's one of the reasons why you don't want to play the ace rag like that, because a lot of times your kicker's not going to be good. Turns out that time it was good. All right, so I think they got everything sorted out with the software, so every time the button is in seat 1, which is the normal procedure, it should go to PLO. So PLO is announced, and we will see the 4 cards. A lot to keep track of. Depends if you're the half empty or half full type of person. You have a lot of different ways you can win in PLO. But of course, you also have a lot of different ways you can lose. So Fernando going to be making the call, as there was a $10. No, Fernando going to be making a raise to $10, as we are going 4 ways to a $41 pot. Ace Jack, Fernando flopping top 2, 2 hearts on the board, nobody with hearts. Let's see how much Fernando bets. And he's going to bet pot, so he's going to bet 45. Or 40, I'm sorry. And Bravo with the same hand. Actually, he has a better hand because he has a 6 to go along with it. Chances are they're going to chop unless if a 6 comes. And the king coming on the turn. Oh, El Chewy also calling the bet with a straight draw, and he's going to hit the straight. El Chewy double checking to make sure he does have the straight. And he's going to be putting on the pressure here with the pot size bet. Quick fold from Fernando. He knows somebody has the straight. And Bravo also makes the fold. So good folds by both players there. El Chewy flopping the straight draw on the flop. So if you're just tuning in, I know on YouTube this stream was scheduled at a different time. But if you're just tuning in, we are playing a round of each at the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley. One of 6 Texas Card House locations across the state of Texas. One of 4 streaming locations. We're in South Texas, so we have a very international lineup. It's basically the USA versus Mexico tonight. Not playing soccer, but playing poker. Fernando going to be raising it to 10 with the 4-5-7-6. Does have one suit. Don Neto makes the quick call, as does Isaac's boss. And Bravo going to be raising it here. Has ace-king, but more importantly, the ace is suited. So he takes it up to 40. And I think everybody's just going to call here. You kind of pot commit yourself a lot, at least pre-flop, in pot limit Omaha. So you see the pot's already up to $163. Nobody with a pocket pair, but a big flop for Bravo is he's going to flop top pair with the nut flush draw, but Don Neto, who flops a wrap. It looks like he has a straight, but he doesn't. But he basically has almost the best possible wrap you can have. So the 9-10, any queen gives him a straight. The ace-queen, any 10 gives him a straight. And then the queen-10, any ace or 9 gives him a straight. So a huge wrap versus top pair and a flush draw. Once this clears out, it's going to be pretty close to 50-50. Don Neto's actually favored here. You can see he has 7 outs. Oh, that's going to give 2 pair for Bravo. And that's going to give him the straight with the queen, the ace-10. The ace-10 is going to make the straight. So one of the other differences from Omaha and Hold'em is in Hold'em, you basically only have 2 different types of straight draws. You have the gut shot straight draw, where you need one specific card to make that straight. So take, for example, you have 9-10, and the flop is king, queen, 3. So you need to hit a jack to make a straight, and you can only hit a jack to make a straight. So then you have the open-ended. So the same example, you have 9-10, but the flop is queen-jack. So now you can hit a king or an 8 for the straight. Well, in Omaha, you have wraps. And wraps is when you can hit 3 or more cards to make a straight. In this case, Don Neto had, I believe it was 4 or 5 cards where he could have made the straight. He had the 9-10 and the ace-queen on the king-jack flop. So he had 3 or more cards where he can make a straight, and that's known as a wrap. So player coming in, joking that he is going to be straddling, but he is in the big blind, and let's see who it is. I was told, I heard the name Spider. Let's see if it's Baby Spider. That might be his hands. And yeah, seat 5, that's going to be Baby Spider. Now, if Fernando wants to straddle, he can straddle up to 25. If he's serious about the straddle, it's 25 is the max under the gun. Yeah, so in Hold'em, since it's no limit, you can straddle up to half your stack under the gun. And in PLO, it's the max is 25. So Baby Spider sits down, and we have our first Omaha straddle of the night. Don Neto squeezing his cards. It's going to be 25 to go. If it was $5 to go, I think Don Neto would have called with that hand. Isaac's boss making the call. Don Ricardo makes the quick call. Bravo with the fold. Big Spoon making the call. Gonza making the call. And I believe Fernando is announcing pot here. Oh, yes, it's going to be 180. So does anybody have a hand that they should be calling with? Maybe Gonza has the nut hearts with the ace. Has a pocket pair. Did Isaac's boss say pot? Yeah, ace jack 7-5. So he squarely thinks that Fernando's making a move here, and he's actually right. But pretty hard to do with 3 or 4 players left to act behind you. Because if somebody calls here, if somebody repots it, he knows he's been had. But I don't see anybody doing that. Big Spoon might see all the money in the pot and might think about making a loose call here. Does have diamonds for the suits. Okay, he does make the fold. And he's also folding. So I believe Isaac's boss is going to be ahead here. No, the pocket fives are going to be ahead. Ooh, Isaac's boss is in bad shape. Based upon the cards that have been folded. So $767 in the pot. Fernando 77% right now. And that's pocket. That's 8. So he needs an ace or a 7 or a 6. A 6 works as well. And it is not. It is the queen that's going to win. So Fernando decided to make a move, and he makes it at the right time. As Isaac's boss calls him a little light. Isaac's boss thought Fernando was making a move, and he was correct. The only issue or problem is you had another 3 or 4 players in the hand you had to worry about.
Barrels, table 9.
And Baby Spider sits down and brings the action with him. He wasn't even involved in the hand, but he is bringing the action with him. So Baby Spider was actually at TCH Social Austin last week, playing in the Poker Atlas Tour. I believe he finished 23rd. He finished somewhere in the 20s. And I'm sure he's going to be firing multiple bullets here as the Trailblazer Series is making a stop here at Texas Card House RGV. So if you're looking for a tournament during the holidays and you are looking for some nice weather, then can I recommend Texas Card House Austin, Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley for you, excuse me? So the forecast for Christmas Day is in the 80s. Pretty much the entire week. Pretty much the entire week is going to be in the 80s here in South Texas. I believe I heard the word pot. And I believe it was Baby Spider that said pot. Yeah, Baby Spider saying pot. Isaac's boss, I think he's tilting a bit, making the call with pocket 10s and 8-high clubs. Surprisingly, his clubs are good. So he's actually hoping clubs come. A 10 of clubs is what he really wants. Instead, it's going to be queens. Baby Spider. your initial aggressor going to be flopping 3 of a kind. Doesn't have clubs. Yeah, nobody really has anything they could call with. But Baby Spider was double suited, triple connected, raising it out of the blind. I say quadruple connected because the 7 works with the 8. The 8 works with the jack, the 8 works with the queen, and the queen works with the jack. Those are the hands you want to be playing in Omaha. You want to be double suited if possible, and you want those suits to be big, because it happens in Hold'em where you could have flush over flush, and obviously with the 4 cards it happens a lot in Omaha too. So if you hit a flush, a lot of times you don't need the nut flush in Hold'em to win the pot. That's not the case in Omaha. So Isaac's boss going to be putting on the straddle under the gun. Don Richard with the quick fold. Looks like he's a Cowboys fan. Or as they say in Mexico, Los Vaqueros. All right, double suited hand. Speaking about double suited for Bravo with a pocket pair with 2 big cards. Pretty sure the solver would have liked the raise here, but instead he just calls the straddle. Especially with the straddle being on, you have extra dead money out there. But instead it is Isaac's boss putting on the play. Does have the best hand right now with the 10s. Only has 1 suit, and they are spades, and we can see that Big Spoon has better spades. Bravo just going to be calling, and Isaac's boss does not want to see spades. Looks like everybody's going to be calling the raise. Fernando ready with reaching with chips in his hand. So you can see just like that, we have over a $400 pot, and we haven't even seen a flop. This is 1-2 PLO. Hot Limit Omaha. The bring-in's $5. That's what gets the pots to build quickly. And it's going to be, set of 10s for Isaac's boss. He's going to love this. He should be potting it here. How much does he have left? Yeah, he's going all in. He's going all in for $360. Just the gut shot for Big Spoon. Don't think he's going to be calling. A top pair for Bravo with a queen kicker. Does have backdoor diamonds. Backdoor straight draw as well. He's thinking about it. He sees how much the pot is. It's already over $700. And I think he's going to think better of it. Yeah, he makes the fold. Big Spoon also making the fold. And Fernando with just the ace-queen, I don't think he can call. And he will fold, so Isaac's boss. Doing Isaac proud. Winning a pot. Isaac with a K, kind of like Chris Isaacs. So we are going to have a dealer change, and while we take care of the dealer change, let me tell you about the Trailblazer. This tournament started yesterday. It's a 60K guarantee, but based upon the initial flights, I'm pretty sure it's going to get close. I'm pretty sure it's going to get to 100K, the prize pool. Just based upon the number of players who have played in the satellites, the number of players that have played in their seats. 10 different days to qualify, twice each day. So there's going to be about believe 18 flights when it's all said and done, just because there's no flights on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Essentially, less than a $200 buy-in for more than $50K guaranteed. And like I said, I would not be surprised if it got to the 100K mark. 60K guarantee, though. Direct flights available to the Rio Grande Valley. Closest airport to the Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, going to be McAllen Miller International Airport. Airport code MFE. Direct flights to Dallas on American Airlines, Houston on United, and Austin on Delta. Secondary airport about half an hour away, Valley International Airport in Harlingen. Direct flights to those same three cities on Southwest. I know a lot of people like to play fly Southwest. So Southwest into Austin, Southwest into the secondary airport in Houston, Houston Hobby, and Southwest into the secondary airport in Dallas, which is going to be Dallas Love, or as they say in Spanish, Amor. I told you I had to practice my Spanish, as we do have 3 players joining us tonight in Mexico. And Bravo, he's in the hand here. 4 ways we go to $143 pot. Jack high. And Bravo is going to be betting his kings here. He also has a 9 to go with it. Has both backdoor spades and backdoor diamonds. El Chewy going to be making the call. Baby Spider does the same with his straight draw. Baby Spider open-ended with the 10-8. Also has the 9 to go with it. Oh, and that's going to be a dangerous card, as both these players have flush draws. Bravo with the king-high flush draw. And like I said earlier, you're going to chase flush draws. You want it to be the nut flush draw. Baby Spider's going to call it off here, as he has a open-ended straight draw and the nut flush draw. There's the call. And Bravo thinks he wants to see a spade, but he does not. He wants to see a blank. So to the river we go. They're going to run it twice. 4 live outs for Baby Spider. That's one of them. There's the straight. And there's another one. That's the flush. So Baby Spider hitting both his draws on the run out. Along came a spider. So somebody told me that the new Alex Cross on Netflix is good. It's a series just called Cross. But it is a series of novels. The reason why I bring that up is they did make a movie on one of those books called Along Came a Spider back in the 90s? Maybe early 2000s with Morgan Freeman. The game host, Georgie, making an appearance on the stream. So we do have Fletcher in the YouTube comments. Put Fletcher in. We want to see Fletcher. So he's talking about himself in the third person. You can get on the list, Fletcher. So once the button gets back to seat 1, we will go back to Hold'em. But for now, it is the 4 cards. We actually have 3 people waiting in the wings here. Looks like Fernando popped out of his seat. probably has to check his phone. You are not allowed to use your phones in the stream room. It is his first time playing on the stream. I wasn't sure if he knew that rule going in. Somebody saying pot. Let's see who that somebody was. Oh, it was Don Richard with the aces, with the suited aces. So he has spades and he has clubs. Wants to see black cards on the flop. And he is double connected as that 3 is working with the ace. And the 3 is also working with the 7. It looks like everybody's calling his raise here. And right as I say that, Don Neto folds his button. But we're going 5 ways to a $240 pot. Isaac's boss double suited with diamonds and clubs. Doesn't want to see clubs. Don Richard. Flop and top set. Best hand right now. I would imagine he's going to say pot again. He potted it pre-flop. And he's saying pot again. So it's going to be a $240 bet. Oh, Big Spoon's in trouble here. Big Spoon flopping bottom set. And he only has $151 left. So you see the flush versus flush a lot here in Omaha. And you also see the set versus set. Let's see if there's one more 9 left for Big Spoon. The action tracker does know which cards have been folded, so it will let us know the true outs for Big Spoon's hand, and he's gonna need a spade. Is the 9 of spades available? Doesn't have any backdoor straight draws. Has a backdoor flush draw, but it's not good. No, 9 of spades is not available. Big Spoon drawing dead here. D-E-D, dead. I don't know if they're going to run it twice. I don't think they are. Don Richard, he is old school. He runs it once, and there's the official check mark. So Don Richard. De Reynosa. He has a used car dealership, venden carros in Reynosa. I believe the name of his business is Autos, R-E-S. Photos. And Big Spoon, not going to be rebuying. So gana el Don Richard de Reynosa. $390. $390. There's actually a lot of people visiting the area right now, specifically from Mexico, to get their Christmas shopping done. The local mall down here, which is actually right next to the airport. The local mall down here is known as La Plaza Mall. And if you know anything about retail or know anything about shopping, it is managed by Simon Properties, Simon Managed Properties. And they're either the biggest or the second biggest mall managing company. And the mall in McAllen, for years, I don't know if it's still the case, but for years, it would always be one of the highest producing malls per square footage. It would always be in the top 5 of all the malls in the U.S. And the reason why, and it still holds true to the day, is you do have a lot of international travelers cross the bridge and come in and do shopping here, especially during the holidays. And I can verify, I was there on Wednesday. I actually went to the food court to go have lunch. It was Wednesday in the middle of the day and could not find a parking spot. They actually have 2 parking garages plus the normal surface parking. Looks like the game host still getting a peek there. Georgie, you can see him in the background. He's kind of hard to miss. There's another stream out there where the game host will wand the people when they come in. I guess they're checking for electronics or something. But all she does is sit in the background. I kind of want that job. So 7 ways we go to this flop. And it's going to be king high. Doneto with the kings and the hearts. His hearts aren't good, though, as Isaac's boss has hearts as well, but he has 3 hearts in his hand. The board is also paired. Doneto bet in the pot, 140. See if Isaac's boss continues here. Probably should not be continuing for 2 reasons. 1, the board is paired, and you normally don't want to chase a draw on a paired board, especially in Omaha. But 2, he actually has one of his outs in his hand, as he does have 3 outs. So he does make the fold. Don Richard does the same. And Gonza. Thinking about it here with the action on him. Does he know the action's on him? Yeah, he did not know the action was on him. That does happen. On the stream table, it does happen, I'm sure, when you've played cards before. I actually saw an old clip recently. The year that Chris Moneymaker won the World Series of Poker. It's been, what, like 25 years? But I think they're down to like 2 tables in the main event. And these 2 players are involved in the hand, but Moneymaker's actually still in the hand and he doesn't realize it. So everybody thinks that he's thinking. And it was like a good 2 minutes where the camera's like focused on him like he has the decision and he didn't realize the action was on him. So it happens to everybody. 3 9s in the hand, he'll get rid of that. I know we have 3 people on the waiting list, and apparently Fletcher wanted to play as well, but we do have a seat open. I don't know who's up first. So it looks like the camera's still waiting on seat 4, but he's already folded. So the dealer will let the production crew know that seat 4 folded, and then that should clear up the cameras. That's what he's doing right now. You can actually see him talking into his headset, letting the production crew know. The reason why the dealer wears the headset is he needs to announce all the actions to the production crew. That way they can keep track. So we are going 4 ways to a flop. The best hand right now, the pocket queens of Isaac's boss. And of course an ace comes on the flop. Doneto with top 2 pair. Fernando with top pair and a king kicker. Oh, Doneto's going to check his top 2 pair. That's interesting. Diamond coming on the turn. Changing nothing. And now somebody should be betting here. And Doneto's finally going to bet his top 2 pair. Let's see what Fernando does here. As Fernando does have top pair with top kicker and has a gut shot straight draw with the 8-6, needing a 5. And he's going to make the call. You can see he has 3 live outs. Can hit a king for a better 2 pair or a 5 for a straight. No flush is possible, as it is the rainbow board. We'll see if the king slows down Don Neto. The queen, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's going to slow him down, but it doesn't. Because the straight got there with the queen, and 2 better pair got there. But Don Neto slow played his hand on the flop, not slow playing it on the river. So we are semi-live on the YouTube comments. I just see one comment from Fletcher. Normally I will have immediate access to it. And I believe we're going back to Hold'em. And we still have a seat open. I am able to view the YouTube chat comments basically on my phone. Normally I'm able to view it on the same system. Yeah, Don Neto up over 1,000 for the stream. El Jefe. Don Neto lives here in the Rio Grande Valley, but he grew up in Mexico. Oh, Isaac's boss with the aces just calling the $10? So just calling with aces in the cutoff. It is going to work out for him as somebody raised behind him, but this is normally a very dangerous move to do. So he's going to go from 35 to that looks really big. How much is it? Is that like is that 180? Yeah, it's 180. That's way too big. So he called the $10 as Baby Spider put out the $10 straddle under the gun. He just called the $10. And then Bravo on the button, raising to 35. I thought 135 at the most. Somewhere between 100 and 135, I thought was a good size. But he makes it 180 and gets the immediate fold from the ace-10. So back to 2 cards. El Chuy with the 6s, raising it up to 20. So before the stream, Don Richard, seat 9, he said, make sure you say on the stream for seat 4 to play a hand. So he folds ace-10. Gonzalo. It looks like Don Richard's read was right, that Baby Spider defended his big blind with the suited connectors. Oh, wow, nice fold. Nice fold. He hits a pair and folds on the flop. He did not think El Chuy would put on a continuation bet with just ace high. So he folded his pair. Looks like no straddle this hand. Action's going to be on Don Neto. We are currently playing Hold'em. It is a round of each, but we are playing Hold'em. Once Button gets back to seat 1. We'll go back to the 4 cards. Don Neto with the quick fold. Isaac's boss calling the $5. It is showing it as a raise. That's the way the software works. El Chuy put it on a 3-bet 17. And I think the production crew letting him know, since it is a $5 bring-in, the bets and raises have to be in increments of 5. So the dealer will let the players know after this hand. We are on a 15-minute delay. These players started playing at about around 7:15, so we started streaming at around 7:30. Everybody missing on the flop. El Chuy, your pre-flop raiser. It looks like Fernando's going to bet his straight draw. Quick fold from Isaac's boss. El Chuy not ready to let go of his ace, as he needs a 9 for a straight. Board pairing. Does Fernando continue with his aggression? He does not. And it does come running diamonds. El Chuy with the ace high. Going to win the pot as Fernando checks, and it goes check, check on the river. El Chuy actually played on our Wednesday night stream this week. We do stream on the secondary channel, which is Texas Card House. 3 different words. This channel that you're watching, it is the main channel, TCH Live Poker on YouTube. Actually, it shows that we are on the secondary channel on YouTube. So maybe something got mixed up with the streams. I believe, yeah, so we got a new player on the stream. Okay. So I think that's... Yeah, so that's still scheduled for upcoming, yeah. So let me answer that. Yeah, so it looks like the production crew put us on the wrong channel tonight. I was wondering why the views were a little bit down. Had a couple of people in the comments complaining that we were over an hour late to get started when we've actually started on time. So I think maybe since we were streaming on the secondary channel on Wednesday, that they just left us on that same channel. El Chuy making a move here. Saw him do this earlier. And it's going to get a fold from Gonza. A small raise from Chuy. I think he's going to try to represent a heart. Ooh. He's not going to be able to represent it now that Isaac's boss hit an ace. And it's going to go check, check. The ace is going to win. So let's see who's taking seat 2. And this is one of the reasons why you should be subscribed to both channels. So $10 button straddle. Fernando put it on the 10. Action's going to be on Don Neto. He's up over $1,000. And he has a good hand for blackjack, but a bad hand for poker. Don Richard with the ace-king. That is a good hand for both blackjack and poker. He's going to be making it 50. I do like this sizing, as there is a $10 button straddle. You have to take that into account. So you want to go at least 3x, but since you're going to be out of position, probably want to add an extra blind there. And since the player's on the button, 50, a really good raise here. And you can see he's going to get called by the 6-4 of El Chewy. Don Richard checking dark, though. Gives a perfect opportunity for Chewy to represent this. And I think he announced all in. No, Chewy put out a bet. Quick fold by Don Richard. I liked his raise size and pre-flop. Did not like the check in the dark. Normally, the check in the dark indicates weakness, and it gives your opponent a green light to fire on the flop. And Don Richard missing the flop, which, spoiler alert, you're normally not going to hit a pair on the flop in Hold'em. If you haven't figured that out yet. So he just had ace high. Thought his opponent might have a pair. Thought wrong, but the check in the dark, like I said, it gave El Chewy the green light. So C2 is actually vagabond. Essentially somebody that really doesn't have a home and just travels or makes his home wherever he sleeps. That's not spelled right. That's not how you spell vagabond. That's how it sounds. Yeah, so according to the Google AI, a person who moves around without a permanent home or job. He actually has a job, but I think the job is one of the reasons why he moves around a lot. Four ways to the flop we go. Isaac's boss hit in top pair. Doneto hit in second pair. Doneto's going to bet this. Oh, flush draw for Vagabond. He's going to bet. This pot can get crazy here depending on how fast these players choose to play. Looks like Doneto just going to be making the call. Isaac's boss should be calling here with top pair. Might even raise, but call for sure. Oh, he folds. So folding the best hand. Let's be results oriented and see what would have happened. Oh, he's a genius. So, 2 pair for Doneto and the flush for Vagabond. Isaac's boss would have had top 2 pair. Oh, Vagabond with the tiny bet on the turn, hitting the nuts, and he induces a raise here by Doneto, and he's still going to string him along. Doneto has 3 outs. We know the king of clubs has been folded, as we saw it in Isaac's boss's hand. And Vagabond going to wind up with the nuts. He should be betting here, but let's see what he does. Yeah, he does go all in. It kind of makes it seem like he missed his flush draw here. I like this line that Vagabond took here. Betting his flush draw on the flop. Hitting his flush draw, leading for a small amount. And Doneto's going to make the call. And he's going to see the flush. And Isaac's boss is going to be, yes. Made perhaps the wrong fold, but made it at the right time. So the dealer will get the countdown. Looks like just under 300. Looks like 295. The Vagabond just winning a $1,000 pot. He doesn't look happy. No emotion for Vagabond, raking in a $1,000 pot. Baby Spider now taking the lead after Doneto takes that hit, and Vagabond will rocket up into third with a $550 profit. Isaac's boss actually still in the green. He's up $46, and he's going to put on a straddle. Don Richard with the San Francisco busboy. Going to let him go. Bravo folding the ace. Vagabond putting those chips to work. Raising it up to 45 with the Jack-10 suited. Once had somebody call Jack-10 suited the Asian aces, because they never fold Jack-10 suited pre-flop according to him. Doneto just lost the last pot. Going to try to get revenge on the player that took those chips from him. And we have the same 2 players going at it again. Exactly 50-50 right now. It's a fair fight. And Vagabond checking. Doneto. He's going to put out a bet here. Don't think Vagabond can call. But he might have some plans to represent on the turn. A jack or a 10 for an immediate out. A club also gives him a flush draw. Let's see if he leads now that he picked up equity. No, he is going to check again. Doneto checking his king high. Oh, and he's going to go runner flush. So back-to-back flushes for Vagabond. And he is going to put out a pretty big bet, but Doneto going to be folding pretty quick. And looks like we still have no emotion from Vagabond. Not in the Christmas spirit. So last hand of Omaha, then we are going to PLO. So somebody asking in the chat if they need to be 21 to play at the card house. I do not know that answer, but I will find it out for you. I want to say, if I had to guess, I would say it's 18. But let me check just to double check. So last hand of Hold'em until we go back to Omaha. Jack high flop coming. El Chewy hidden second pair. And it's going to go check around. No, it's not. Don Richard going to put out a small bet here. Chewy's going to fold. No, Chewy called. So Chewy does have the best hand, but he cannot like the king nor the queen on the board. Doneto looking for an ace, a jack, or a 10. He will get none of it. And El Chewy going to be betting $40. Figured none of his opponents were very strong, and he was correct. I believe, yeah, we're going back to Omaha here. So PLO style, as the last player to sit down now has the biggest profit. As a matter of fact, the last two players to sit down have the two biggest profits thus far. It is a $5 bring-in. Maybe Spider just calling the $5. He is double suited. It looks like Fernando put it on a small raise with his jacks. And he does have a suited ace, which is important. Doneto also with the suited ace. He's coming along. Vagabond going to be taking his first Omaha hand. And Baby Spider repotting it here. He is double suited, triple connected, but he didn't think the min raise was very strong. So kind of playing this hand pretty fast based upon the raise sizing, and he is not going to like all these people calling. He thought maybe one person would call, but you see this happen a lot. Whenever the first person calls your raise, it kind of opens up the floodgates. The floodgates have been open, and everybody who called the $10, just about everybody that called the $10 is going to call the raise. So 4 ways to the flop we go. The best hand right now, the jacks of Fernando. He's 47%, 4 ways in Omaha. That's actually a big percentage. Oh, and he's going to hit trips. Baby Spider with the king. Also has backdoor hearts and backdoor spades. Fernando not messing around. Open-ended straight draw for Isaac's boss, but it is a sucker straight draw. Don't think he's going to call. How much does he have left in his stack? 756, so $350. Basically half of his stack. Yeah, he's not going to put half of his stack on the draw. And Baby Spider will be letting it go, knowing that somebody has him beat. So Don Richard giving Baby Spider a hard time for potting it pre-flop and then folding on the flop. We do have an under-the-gun straddle from Baby Spider, so Vagabond will have to take that straddle off. The dealer will let him know that under the gun has priority. That's exactly what he's letting him know. You could actually see him talking with his hands. So now if somebody's going to come in, they can come in for 35. Because it'll be the 10 times the 3 plus the blind. So the opening race could be 35 here. Then, of course, if somebody limps, then the opening race could be 40 because you will add the $5 into that total. Fernando just went in the last pot with the quick fold. Don Neto with 10s in his hand, pocket 10s. Oh, and he puts on the min race. I don't know what Baby Spider has, but this might induce him into re-raising. Oh, Vagabond with a huge hand here, just choosing to call on the button. Double suited, ace, king, jack, 8. 6 ways we go. And Vagabond going to be hitting his ace. Let's see if he checks. Does have a backdoor club draw. He checked. He picks up that backdoor club draw. It's the nut club draw too. But that turn's going to give Bravo 2 pair. And El Chewy's actually going to lead here. Vagabond's going to be thinking, why didn't I bet the flop? He got the best hand to fold in the ace-5. According to this, everybody's drawn dead as Doneto could hit a 10, but I think all the 10s have been folded. And now Vagabond's going to hit a better 2 pair. Better compared to the ace-5 that he got to fold. Oh, El Chewy. El Chewy going for it here. Vagabond thinking that El Chewy has a straight with the 3-4. El Chewy does have a 3 in his hand. So he is using the 3 to represent the straight. Now it looks like we finally got some emotion out of Vagabond as he turns to Chewy and asks him a question. He did river 2 pair, but pocket 5s beats him, 3-4 beats him. Kind of a crazy move from El Chewy. El Chewy missed his flush draw, but we can see his flush draw wasn't good. Oh, is he going to call? He's thinking about it. Was that a pump fake? So El Chewy missed his flush draw, although if he would have hit his flush draw, it would not have been good. And I think Baby Spider's just coloring up some of that. Oh, wow. El Chewy's going to get it through. Show it, Chewy. No, he doesn't show it. But El Chewy was on a flush draw, which is why he stuck around on the turn. Well, actually, he led the turn. El Chewy was on a flush draw, and he missed the flush draw. And it's a good thing that he missed the flush draw because Vagabond had the better flush draw. And El Chewy pretty much had nothing in his hand. I mean, he rivered an 8, but he knows the 8 is never good there. And he knew the only way he was able to win the hand would be to go all in. And it's very easy. It's very easy to know that. Obviously, you're sitting at the poker table and you know your hand's not going to be good. But to pull the trigger, Chewy was able to pull the trigger. All right, somebody actually came into my booth to answer my question. Well, to actually answer Alfonso's question. So it is 18 years old. So Alfonso Hernandez asking, to be a member of the Texas Card House, you need to be able to vote. Of course, the voting age is 18. Eight high flop coming. And Bravo hidden top set. So this is all the pre-flap action is. Everything's just catching up with one another, and that's why the dealer paused the action on the table so all the graphics can catch up. So this happens if either... Yeah, so it looks like Bravo's going to bet a set of eights, and everybody going to fold pretty quick. Yeah, he bet $100. Oh, and Chewy calling with the queens. That looked like a queen, but it was a king. And Bravo's going to be going all in. Bravo picking up diamonds now. This was probably his move either way, but the fact that he picked up diamonds makes it a whole lot easier to go all in. Chewy also thought that that was a king, a queen, especially since he had two black queens in his hand. He knew he needed a red queen, and he saw a red face card. He thought he hit it. He double checked to make sure he did not hit it. So Playground Sports Cards checking in on the YouTube chat, watching from Edinburgh, Texas, which is home of the Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley. So three players in the red. And Don Neto putting on a $25 under the gun straddle on this Omaha game. So if you tuned in Wednesday, it was a very good stream. And it looks like tonight is shaping up also to be a very good stream. I find it funny where when you tune into some streams and at the very beginning they say, oh, we got a great stream tonight. We got an action stream tonight. You don't know that. I mean, you could have players that are classified as action players playing on the stream, but it doesn't guarantee that there will be action. But that's kind of the old trick that all of the talk show hosts do. If you ever watch the talk shows, they'll do their little opening monologue, and they're like, oh, we have a great show for you tonight. And a lot of times it'll be like a B-list actor or actress. All right, I'm done with my rant. Don Neto with top two pair. He is going to be betting $80. Vagabond with the aces. Going to be making the call. You can see he has no suits on his aces. He's going to need some help here. That looked like help, but it is not. As Don Neto's still with the best hand with the top 2 pair. And the 3 gives Vagabond an extra out. But he's going to let it go. So in Omaha, all aces are not created equal. And Vagabond was not suited on any of the aces. Ideally, if you have aces, you want them to be double suited. And then you also want the other 2 cards to be connected. Like ace king, ace 5. You want to have all the cards working together. Because you always want the redraw in Omaha. The redraw is obviously also possible in Hold'em too, but not as likely since you only have 2 cards. But the easiest redraw there in Omaha is like if you have ace-king suited and the flop comes, so let's say you have ace-king of spades and the flop comes king-high with 2 spades. Well, you have top pair, top kicker, and you have the redraw to the flush. But as I said, in Omaha, you always want the redraws. A redraw flush draw, a redraw straight draw. So Isaac's boss straddling under the gun here. Baby Spider putting on the raise. What does Baby Spider have? Baby Spider a little light here. Doesn't have a suited ace. Oh, Isaac's boss waking up with the aces, and he is repotting it. You can see none of his aces are suited, but he does have the 10-7 to help out with the straight. The 10-7 working together, the ace-10 working together. And Baby Spider going to let his hand go, and just like Don Richard gave Baby Spider a hard time for raising and folding, now Fernando does the same. Fernando basically telling Baby Spider that he got him to call the $45 raise, and he's not gonna like calling the 3-bet here, but he's gonna call anyways. Doneto with queens, and looks like he's coming along too. So aces versus queens versus a king high diamond. Fernando also with clubs. His clubs are not good though, as Doneto has queen high clubs. And 2 spades coming on the flop. Nobody with spades. Fernando needing a 7 for a straight. And he's going to lead here. Doneto with the immediate call with the queens. Actually, he's no longer playing queens. He has 2 pair. And Isaac's boss is going with the aces here. Fernando going to jump out of his seat. Just has the 7 for a straight. You can see he's only 15%. So your aces hand is coming up here. Is this the big hand you were talking about? Yeah. Yeah, so I think everybody's pretty much priced in here. Yeah, Doneto's going with it. So we have, looks like a $2,200 pot. This hand happened 15 minutes ago, and I got Isaac's boss walking into the booth. He's actually here right now. Perfect timing. All right, don't tell us what the river is, but tell us what the turn is. He doesn't remember. All right. Good talk. So $2,200 pot here. Don Neto actually has the best hand right now and the best percentage, albeit by 1%, 43 to 42. I would imagine it's a deuce. Deuce or a 10. Because you're losing right now to 2 pair. So, oh yeah, you have a straight draw with an 8. Okay. So Isaac's boss with a straight draw as well, needing an 8, and has the blocker. I don't think in this situation the blocker comes into effect, but okay. The blocker makes him feel better, he said, because he is blocking the flush for somebody, if that is the case. We can see it is not the case. All right. And there's the 8 for the straight. Nobody on the flush draw, but that's going to give Isaac's boss a straight, and he's going to win a $2,667 pot. Maybe perhaps Isaac's boss is going to give Isaac's a Christmas bonus with those win-ins. Maybe, perhaps. So there was a small side pot, and Fernando actually went runner 2 pair to win the side pot. So Don Neto flopping bottom 2 pair, flopping top 2 pair, and Fernando had a gut shot, but goes runner. I just talked about always having the backups, and Isaac's boss did have the backup with the 10-7 to make a straight, and he's going to win the $2,600 pot. So according to him, all of his prior play, which wasn't optimal, was to set up this move. Yeah. So as I said, we are on a 15-minute delay. I am in the same building. I'm not necessarily saying that it's bad, but I know there are some streams where the commentators are actually not in the same building. So Isaac's boss just wants to remind all the players out there to keep it splashy, not classy. Maybe he's working on a catchphrase, I don't know. Classy. All right, let me just make sure that the audio is working here. I thought I had muted it. All right. Audio is good. If you're just tuning in, I have a different setup system for the streaming, and I know that the mute button always doesn't work. All right, 4 ways to the flop we go. It's going to be clubs. Nobody with clubs, but somebody with a set of queens. And the set of queens is going to say, no, Fernando's saying pot. Oh, Fernando does have a straight draw to go with it. And El Chewy making the call. The queens also just calling. So now 3 pair for Fernando. He has been the aggressor. And Gonzalo. I think he was going to get all the chips on the flop either way. It looks like he's in really good shape here. Needs to avoid a king. So Fernando losing that big all in, now involved in another big pot. Oh, one king is available. Also, this is a true out, so we're being nine-handed, which is the 4 cards. Trying to calculate how much is in the pot, how many cards are left in the deck. Because even though it's one out, there's not that many cards left in the deck. I know this really comes into play whenever we're doing the big O game, because there's only 4 cards left at the end. So even if you just have one out, it's 1 out of 4. So the set of queens gonna win the pot, and that's gonna take Gonza up to 2nd place. Isaac's boss is actually in 1st place. And it looks like we have a new player. Looks like we have a new player joining the stream, Don Neto, who was up over $1,000 at one point, is no longer up, and he is no longer playing. So somebody's going to be taking a seat. That's going to be seat number 8. No, that's going to be seat 7, excuse me. They're getting the count. Believe it or not, this is only a $200 minimum since the blinds are 1-2. It's going to be Rolando. Just confirming if he could beat Delta, and I believe the answer is yes. And let's see if I'm correct. I am incorrect. So there are different rules on the stream. And normally you're able to assume the button. Oh, nice hand for Bravo here. 10s and kings double suited. He can raise up to 15, and that is what he's going to do. Actually, 25. Oh, Fernando saying pot. So losing back-to-back big pots. He is trying to force the action here. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but Bravo with a pretty big hand here. He should be re-raising, should be doing the back raise here, in my opinion, just because you have Chewy in between. If he would be closing the action here and going heads up, then I would just like a call. Oh, maybe take, oh, Chewy going with it too. Yeah, Bravo did put on the 4-bet, and Chewy, with $420 in his stack, had the suited ace, and he said YOLO. So for the 3rd straight hand, Fernando's going to be all in, or he's going to be involved in an all-in pot. And he's got a rundown hand here. He's got all of the middle cards. And we can see all of his cards are live with the exception of the tray. So he's actually in decent shape, especially three ways. He's at 45% right now. So with just random cards, I mean, we're three ways, so he should only have 33.33% equity, but we see that's not the case. He's actually in good shape here with this rundown hand. Let's see if he's going to be able to run down the kings of Bravo. Does he flop a straight? He flopped a straight, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he flopped a straight. Oh, backdoor hearts for Bravo, though. It's not over yet. Or front door hearts. Board pairing. Hold on, he still has a chance. No, the board pairs. So the hearts are going to win. Should actually be showing King 10 of hearts. There it is, King 10 of hearts. It might still be programmed for the low, although there is no low. But so Fernando almost able to run down the kings and ace queen. As a matter of fact, he did on the flop. The board paired on the turn, so that still left him live for another 6, a 3, an 8, or a 7. But Wednesday's game, definitely action-packed, and tonight's game as well. And let's be honest, one of the reasons why you tune into the stream is you want to see action. All right, we're going to have a dealer change. I'm trying to remember the song from the 80s, the 1980s. I believe it was by Poison. Bret Michael, the lead singer, wound up having a reality show on VH1. But the opening line was, I want action tonight. Satisfaction. Okay, I will stick to the commentating, not the singing. I apologize. All right, dealer change. Ash Cash is back. We're able to see the French tips on the nails, but she also made up her hair. Fernando just shouted pot. It's not on him. I don't know if he was serious or just joking around. But he's been saying pot for about the last 15 minutes. The last 3 or 4 hands, he has said pot multiple times. Vagabond raising an early position. And Fernando was serious about the pot. So Fernando potting it pre-flop for the 4th time, and he's moves the rest of his chips to kind of tell his opponents the rest of these chips are going in on the flop. Vagabond calling, El Chewy rebuying. Does Baby Spider put on a back race here to get isolated? That's exactly what he's going to do. Rolando just sat down. This is his first hand, and you just saw him kind of wave his hands in the air. He's all like, what did I get myself into? Welcome to the Texas Card House, Rolando. We got Rolando and we got Fernando. This hand being brought to you by the letter O. Rolando really thinking he's taking off his glasses, literally scratching his head. So Fernando actually has a better hand than Baby Spider. And this is Rolando's first hand. I don't think he's gonna go with it. I don't think so, but I guess you can make the argument the other way, like, hey, it's your first hand, why not? So action will be on Vagabond. And Chewy's already all in. Oh, Vagabond going all in, and oh, we got another $2,000 pot, just like that. The best hand right now is actually Fernando. So the second $2,000 pot of the night brings the action. So Fernando is suited with the diamonds. Maybe Spider doesn't want to see diamonds. Vagabond also a diamonds. Vagabond with queens. So Vagabond's the only one with a pocket pair, but it's actually Fernando that is favored. They're going once. 9 high coming on the flop. Vagabond picking up a pair. Oh, the ace on the turn. The river a king. And El Chewy going to hit 2 pair. El Chewy with the worst hand. He was only 5%. He's going to hit 2 pairs. So he's going to win the main pot. And the side pot is going to go to... The side pot's going to go to Fernando. Fernando has ace queen. Yeah, so side pot between Baby Spider and Fernando. Fernando going to win that. So Fernando still has chips. Fernando going to be able to say pot. Fernando going to be able to go all in for a 4th straight hand because he's going to win the side pot. But El Chewy es mi canal. He is going to win the main pot, hitting 2 pair on the river. And Fernando already saying pot. The next hand hasn't even been dealt yet. This is Fernando's first time playing on the stream. I do hope we see him again, because he is definitely fun to watch.
The second you showed it your card save, I knew you didn't have anything.
Vagabond going to be losing the pot as well, so there was actually 2 side pots. And Fernando going to win both side pots with his ace queen. In Fernando's defense, he actually had the best percentage pre-flop. He had the best equity. But on the other side of the coin, El Chewy had the worst equity and he won the main pot. Fernando's still standing up. And I don't even know if he's going to look at his cards, but I'm pretty sure he's going to say pot. Let's see if Fernando pots it. No, he just calls. So Fernando making back some of his chips. Just gonna slow it down a bit now. Vagabond rebuying for 2,000. Vagabond, not a great hand, but nobody raised. So we will go 6 ways to a flop. Make that 7 ways. Queen high flop. The king's still out in front. And Fernando gets to say pot again. Fernando with a good hand here. He's got open-ended with a pair. Down in the front, Fernando. Down in the front. Thank you. So Bravo going to be calling with the kings. It is the best hand. He still has the best hand, but I don't know if he can take much more heat. Does have a gut shot. Okay, Fernando going to slow down. Running clubs. Fernando not going to take a stab at it. Bravo does not like the ace on the river, but his kings will be good. Everybody's surprised that the kings are good. It's very rare in Omaha that just one pair is going to be good. All right, Button's back to seat 1, so we're going to Hold'em. Going back to Hold'em. This is a round of each. So back to Hold'em, I'm sure. I don't think we're going to see as much action in the Hold'em, but it is a round of each. Looks like we do have a straddle. Yeah, so back to Hold'em.
Pero es que te voy a decir lo que dijo un vato de la América, Richard, dijo un vato de la América, cada quien hace con su dinero lo que quiere, porque dicen que compran árbitros, cada quien hace con su dinero lo que quiere. Yo estoy de acuerdo con los hombres. No. O sea, es increíble que la gente siga creyendo que ganó, son buenos.
So $50 raise from Baby Spider here with the suited jack. And he's going to pick up a call from a better jack, Rolando. And El Chuy going to be calling with the suited connectors. Rolando the favorite right now, but not by much. Two spades and a paired board. Baby Spider is going to continue here. He knows it's hard to make a pair, and as long as none of his opponents have a pocket pair, this move should work. Rolando makes the call. Oh, Baby Spider going to pick up clubs. That's the good news. The bad news is it's an ace. But he is not deterred. He's going to size it up now. And that should get the job done. So Baby Spider with the win. Fernando back in his seat. And we will see another hand-up Hold'em. This is a round of each. R-O-E, round of each. And this is the normal setup on a round of each, where you have no limit Hold'em and you have PLO. Another popular setup is PLO and Big O. So a round of 4 cards and a round of 5 cards, essentially. That's another popular setup. But the row, the round of each, can be whatever the players choose the 2 games that they want to play is. Baby Spider raising it up with his suited ace. Rolando calling with the same hand, but he is not suited. El Chuy has hearts. Baby Spider has better hearts. Same 3 players. And everybody hitting a pair. Big bet from Rolando here. $147 in the pot. It looks like he's betting 140. 150, so pot size bet. Oh, El Chuy has middle pair. Yeah, he's not going to be able to call. And Baby Spider's just going to put Rolando all in. They're going to see that they have the same hand. Rolando's actually free rolling him. If a club comes on the turn, maybe Spatter really pulling back his bet. Yeah. They were going to run it. Nope. Yeah, it's going to be a chop. They were going to run it twice, and then they saw that they had the same hand, so they said, let's just run it once and save some time. I know a lot of people like to run it twice, which is fine. I fall in a different category. I always run it once. However, I do feel if the players choose to run it twice, that's fine. It's the player's choice. But I do feel they have to expose their hand. And this is one of the reasons why I feel this way, is because the players can have the same hand. And running it twice is essentially a waste of time. Or a player can be drawn dead, or it's flush over flush, or like top set versus bottom two. And once again, just running it twice is just wasting time. So I don't mind if the player's going to run it twice. But if the players agree to run it twice, then we get to see their cards. It's kind of a trade-off because it's taking more time, and we are paying. For time. Everybody's paying equally. So I feel if you're going to run it twice, you have to show your hand. If you don't want to show your hand, well, don't run it twice. I might be in the minority there, but I think it's a very logical solution. Especially on the stream. I mean, we're going to see your hand eventually. We're going to see your hand 15 minutes later. So especially in the stream, there's no reason why they shouldn't be showing their hand. All right, I will step off my soapbox. So once the button gets back to seat one, we'll go back to the 4 cards. Right now, we're doing 2-card high. No limit hold'em. Rolando, first to act. Looks like he's having a late dinner. El Chewy raising it up with his ace. Doneto going to be defending with his ace, and Fernando also coming along. Fernando has the second best odds right now. No longer. Don Richard might get in trouble here as he did hit an ace, but his kicker's not good. And he's going to bet his ace here. Let's see if El Chewy just calls or raises. El Chewy with a good kicker, not a great kicker. He's just going to be making the call. Yes, I know that he did throw 50 out there, but it is the 1-chip rule. So the bet is 30. So the extra 25 just counting as $5. And Fernando should be done with this hand. Yeah, he's going to be done with the hand. Let's see a club on the turn. Oh. Not a club, but Don Richard hidden his tray. And now he's going to put out a bet on the river. Any 4 makes a straight, but very unlikely. Oh, he's going to check again. So El Chewy, knowing that any 4 makes a straight, checks it behind. And Don Richard, gana. Viva Mexico.
Llegó la ganga, ¿verdad? Llegó la ganga. Ah, la verga, sí. No te regañó la licenciada. Dime la verdad.
Looks like Baby Spider put it on the straddle.
Avalades el invierno. Dile que deje la pizza.
You can see Isaac's boss up 1,400. Baby Spider up 900. And action's going to be on Fernando, whose favorite word is pot. But we are playing no limit hold'em. We're not playing pot limit Omaha. So something also different between the two games is that the dealer cannot tell you how much is in the pot in no limit hold'em, but in pot limit they can. I think pretty much the standard rule, if they ask you, they can't tell you, but they can spread the pot for you so you can get an idea of how much is in the pot. And one of the reasons why is because they don't want you to influence action. So by them telling you the amount, the number you had in your head might be different, and that might lead you to either call or fold in that situation. So the Chewy gonna bet, and then the Chewy gonna take. So Fernando down the most right now, but he's probably had the most fun of any of these players. And Vagabond down the second most. He's probably had the least fun based upon his facial expressions. Action on Don Richard. He will fold. Bravo, the brave one. Some of these cards did not get scanned. I think it was Fernando's. So that is why the action froze on the cameras. But Bravo with the Jack-10. Chewy with the Ace-Queen just making the call. And this might save Chewy some money, as Baby Spider has the real hand. Baby Spider waking up with the ladies. How are you doing? $65 raise for Baby Spider. El Chewy should just be making this call. Oh, Bravo making the call, and it Chewy quickly calls, and we are going 3 ways to a flop of just under $200. So good flop, bad flop for Baby Spider. He does have the overpair. He does have a straight draw. But we can see Bravo has 2 pair. Oh, nice check from Baby Spider, as he thought somebody might have a 9. Nobody has a 9, but Bravo has 2 pair. El Chewy needed a king. And looks like he's going to pay. Baby Spider does not want a king to come because El Chewy will take back the lead. So Jack-10 going to hold up. It was the worst hand pre-flop. But the only thing that matters is the river. That's assuming if you see the river. And it does go check around. Bravo thinking somebody might have a straight. I said when the dealer Ashley sat down, we weren't able to see Her hair, just the French tip nails, but did get a shot of ass cash there. Bravo just winning the last 10. First time playing on the stream. Joining us from Mexico, south of the border. I'm kind of interested if he maybe dropped off his wife to go shopping and showed up here to play poker. Hey, Fernando's back. He can't say pot because this is no limit, so he says all in. King 4. Maybe Spider might call here. You can see he's really thinking about it. We can literally see the wheels turning in his head right now. Isaac's boss taking a long time to fold. Oh, he folded ace king. Oh, baby Spider does fold. Show it, Fernando. Show it. Did he show? Oh, he showed it. I like it. Yes. So Isaac's boss and baby Spider had Fernando's king dominated, and they both fold. So Fernando moved all in for about 500 roughly. Yeah, it's 545 in his stack right now, so yeah, moved all in for about 500. I think maybe if Isaac's boss was up over 1,500, then he would have made the call, because even if you lose, you're still up 1,000. He's letting the table know he folded ace king. Oh, yeah. And he just came into the booth, folding ace king. Vagabond calling here with the gut shot. Oh, Vagabond hitting the gut shot. Rolando doesn't have anything to call with. So Vagabond with the win, and of course, he remains motionless. No emotion. So this is something you should know once you start gambling a little bit. And it kind of illustrates the point here with Vagabond. Just because a player has a lot of chips in front of them doesn't mean that they're winning. I see that happen a lot, like especially at the blackjack tables. Somebody will be walking by and they see somebody that has a lot of chips, and they're like, "Oh, let me play at this table. It must be hot." Like that's not true. You don't know how much the person bought in for. You don't know how long they've been playing. So Fernando getting up to check his phone. Looks like Baby Spider doing the same. We're on a 15-minute delay, so some of these players, if they're not sure about a certain spot, a certain hand, they will jump up at the 15-minute mark. I know one of our players, New York Bobby, actually does that. Anytime he's in a difficult spot and makes a fold and is curious, he'll actually set a timer. He'll set a timer for 15 minutes, and then he'll jump up in 15 minutes and try to watch it. Oh, quads! Quadzilla!
Saque la ID porque ahora poker.
So quads for Gonzalo.
¿Está en la yuca ahí o qué?
Oh, and Isaac's boss gonna call here. Doesn't want to see an ace. All right, does not see an ace, so I think he's done with the hand. Pot size bet. I actually like this bet here, as a queen is always going to call you, and maybe even a pocket pair will call you. But Isaac's boss has none of that. All right, back to PLO, and immediately Baby Spider puts on a straddle. Bravo trying to put on a straddle too, but under the gun has priority. Oh, he's actually not under the gun. He thought he was under the gun. Either way, we're going to have a straddle. So next time, Baby Spider will be able to put on that straddle. But for now, we have a button straddle from Bravo. So action's going to be on Gonzo. Just had quads last hand. No, actually action was on Vagabond because there was a straddle. Action starting to the left of the straddle. Vagabond calling the straddle. So this is the first time back for Omaha. And anybody who has played a round of each, normally when you're playing Hold'em, I mean, you're fine. But once you start mixing into Omaha, the Hold'em seems really boring. Rolando with the flush draw. You can see he's at 59% right now. He also has an open-ended straight draw with the 5-6. It looks like there's $55 in the pot, and he's going to bet 30. Is that 30 or 40? 45. Nobody with a king. And nobody going to be able to call here. So I think what's going to happen here is the max straddle you can do under the gun is 25. I think Baby Spider's going to put on the 25, and I think Fernando's going to put on the 50. Based upon how these players have been playing tonight. Vagabond trying to put a straddle on the button, but under the gun has priority. So Baby Spider wants to take the straddle away, he can. And he will do just that. Oh, he straddles to 10. And then we have the double straddle. So the max straddle is 25. The min straddle is 10. And Baby Spider making it the min straddle because he knew that Fernando was going to double straddle. Whoa, there you go. So action is going to be on Rolando. So I just said that we're not live on the YouTube chat, although I do have access to it. This is a different system that they're using for me. So before I was able to see the YouTube comments live, now I have to log onto my phone, and I just saw where they're giving Isaac Sposs a hard time for folding Ace King, saying that the guy isn't there to gamble, I guess. And even if that's true, a lot of the other players who are sitting at the table are here to gamble. Fernando perhaps being on the top of that list. Surprisingly, he's not involved in this hand. It is Baby Spider. Vagabond with the sixes. He's out in front right now. He also hits some diamonds. He's the only player with diamonds, Baby Spider. Going to continue his aggression here. He does have backdoor spades. Looks like Rolando's going to make a light call here. He's thinking about it at least. Oh, he's going all in. He doesn't have a straight draw. He doesn't have a flush draw. He has 10 high. Vagabond just calling with his pair and flush draw. Rolando with a 10% equity now. He wants to hit a 6, 8, 9, 10 jack. That's what he's looking for. And he's not going to get it. Vagabond still with sixes, but I think this is going to go check, check. No reason to bet into an empty side pot here. Yeah, it's going to go check, check. There's an empty side pot, so no reason to bet into it. And the flush, get in there for Vagabond. No reason for Baby Spider to bluff into an empty side pot. If this was a different setup where it was just heads up between him and Vagabond, he might fire on the river, but he knows that the bluff cannot get through just because there's a player all in. So Vagabond winning the $1,200 pot. And will we see a smile? So maybe we need to change Vagabond's name to the Grinch. So $200 is the minimum buy-in. So Fernando should be putting on the straddle here. He does not. It's a little surprising. So Fernando, it's actually $5 bring-in. Dealer didn't know it's $5. So pretty common in Omaha where there is a bring-in. So he will fold. Rolando, I believe, just announced call. So that's $5. Don Richard with the kings also has diamonds, and he's raising it up to a quarter. And Bravo calling with the straight in his hand. Also has clubs. 4 to the straight at least, the 8, 9, Jack 10. Wanted to see like a King, Queen, 7 flop. Well, that flop will work for his hand. Straight flush draw, needing the 9 of clubs. Rolando with better clubs. Don Richard with a straight draw of his own, but only the 4 works, which is why he's only 15% to win right now. And Bravo going to be betting his draw. Rolando going all in. And Don Richard making the quick fold. Only 2 outs left for Rolando. The ace of clubs, where he can hit a king. Just the ace of clubs, and that is the ace of hearts. So Rolando going to have to rebuy, and it's going to be trip 8 for the brave one. Él es muy bravo. So only the 4 was good for his straight with the 5-6, because the 9 would make Bravo a bigger straight. So there is a full service bar available here at the Texas Guardhouse, Rio Grande Valley. And we also have quote unquote bar food. So they do have hot dogs available, Frito pies, or the walk-in taco as they call it up north. Frito pies available, and they are now offering pizzas. Oh, looks like Isaac's boss is gone, but they haven't changed out his name. And there is a minimum buy-in, so Don Richard pointed out he did not have the minimum. And we will get the name. I think he's played on the stream before, but let me see what his name is. Yeah, so I don't think they can get the information cleared up until the next hand, since the hand has already started. But he did call the $5. Rolando making the rebuy. So I said it earlier, this has been an action game, and the dealer will let him know about his phone. It's really crazy how, as a society in general, we have become super reliant on phones. I mean, you see even like the kids and sometimes babies with phones as well. I do understand why a parent would give a phone to a kid just to keep them entertained. I do understand that part. I don't understand why the parents use their own phone, because the chances of that kid dropping the phone or losing the phone or doing something is pretty high. And as I just said, everybody pretty much has to have their phone with them all their time. I just don't understand why they don't just buy like a cheap phone and not even connect the phone. You don't even need to connect the phone. You can just have the phone use Wi-Fi and take your phone and make your phone a hotspot, and that way if the kid loses their phone or breaks the phone, it's not your phone. And of course, this is coming from someone who has no kids. As I said, I do understand why you would want them to be entertained. I do understand that part.
Barrels, table 9.
But as I said, it is an action game. We have players rebuying. We have players reloading. We have new players coming in with big stacks. And somebody just said pot, I believe. Oh, Bravo with the aces here. Flopping top set. He also has the jack, which actually isn't good, because the chances of somebody having pocket jacks is not very good. He is going to put on a small raise here. Don Richard leading. Fernando should be getting away from these queens. And you can already see him locked and loaded to fold. Don Richard does not want to see a jack or an 8 on the turn. He wants to see a heart. He wants to see a heart. He has 0 immediate outs. He can go runner, runner, flush. So a heart, if not, he's drawn dead. Don Richard is drawn dead. And Don Richard knows that his jack is no good. He will make the fold. All right, so in the YouTube chat, as I said, I don't have immediate access to it. Essentially, we're going old school. So we got Pool Hall Junkies in the house. I think that was a movie. Speaking about good movies, not sure if you know about the Tubi app. A non-paid commercial here. TUBI. It's a streaming service like Netflix and Prime and stuff like that, but it's free. They got a lot of good movies. So, Oha Junkie asking, does anybody in the chat know how Baby Spider got his nickname? And I actually know. I know the story. But we're going to take a dramatic pause and tell you the story after this hand. Baby Spider on the button, putting on the straddle. And there's Baby Spider. Oh, Baby Spider with aces. What a time to straddle. Fernando with 2 pair. None of them are suited, though. But Fernando's here to gamble tonight, as are most of the players sitting down. Fernando looking for a 4 or a 5. There's only 1 4 left. Oh, and he hits the 4. Vagabond hitting a pair and a straight draw and a flush draw. So he's going to get it in. As a matter of fact, Vagabond also hitting a set. I just realized that he has a set as well. Fernando happy to see action here, but he's not going to be happy when he sees that his set is no good, as Vagabond has a pretty big percentage here. He has a set a flush draw, and a straight draw. Rolando has running clubs or needs a jack, and he's going to repot it. Baby Spider knows his aces are no good. He should be folded pretty quick. He does. There's the fold. And Fernando and Rolando, they're going to get the rest of their chips in, as the pot is now super big. A jack of clubs would be pretty gross. Running fives will be pretty gross.
What do you guys want?
Vagabond asking if they want to run it once or twice. Guess they can run it. No, I was about to say I guess they can run it 3 times too, but I don't think that option's available on the stream. Fernando just announced at the table that he's winning, but he doesn't realize that Vagabond has a set of 10s. It says it's 0%, but I think he could go runner 5-5s if there's still 2 5s in the deck. But he is drawn very slim. So I think the players are exposing their hands because Baby Spider doing a little commentating and say, hey, you need a jack to win. One time. There's the ace. Set of 10s. Well, actually, he's going to make the straight. He's going to make the straight as he was open-ended. And a $1,600 pot. Will we get a smile from Vagabond? I think that's always. I think Fernando's not going to be rebuying. And Vagabond, can we get him to crack a smile? So Fernando is out, seat open. Oh no, he just said he's no. I think Rolando's coming back. But Rolando was finishing his dinner, so I think he's going to finish that and then come back. But I think Fernando is gone, and we do have a seat open. We do have a seat open. I know there was a waiting list, but if you're watching, you can. Let me check the poker atlas.
My right. My right. I meant my right.
Yeah, we do have one person waiting on the list, although I think that person is playing the tournament.
I literally meant my right.
All right, so long story short for Baby Spider's nickname, his dad is King Spider.
No, you're not a black.
That's the short story. Bravo with aces, and they're double suited as well. He's going to pot it. I think I might have just limped under the gun here, put it on the back raise, just based upon the way this table is playing, because everybody's pretty much going to call a $25 bet. And you're building a pot, which is good, but you're going to be out of position, and that's the bad part. But it looks like Baby Spider put on the raise. So does Bravo repot it here? I think he's announcing I think he's asking the dealer how much it is. And Baby Spider, who started off his poker career as a dealer, quickly tells him how much the pot is. Yeah, and he is potting it. What does Baby Spider have? Oh, Baby Spider's both suits are live. And he has a rundown hand. He's got those cards that connect in the middle. Baby Spider's going to call here. So a 420, the 424 bet. And we are going heads up. Baby Spider with over 1,600 in his stack. Bravo with over 1,900 in his stack. 9 of hearts? No. Should be pretty easy for Baby Spider to get away from here. Oh, he only bets 200. So nice bet. This is getting Baby Spider to stick around. Baby Spider backdoor spades, backdoor diamonds, Bravo backdoor clubs, and it is a spade. That's a huge card for Baby Spider. He picks up a wrap to go with a flush draw. I thought Bravo would bet bigger on the flop, and now he's not going to like it. He thinks Baby Spider has a 10 here, but that is not the case. You can actually see Baby Spider's favored at 65% with his combination draw. Baby Spider with 11 live outs. Five of his outs have been folded. And so Bravo unblocking the spades. Doesn't have any spades in his hand, which might get him to call, thinking that his opponent has the ace of spades. Oh, is he going to call here? If he calls, this is going to be a monster pot. This is going to be over a $4,000 pot. He's moving his chips forward. He's really trying to get a read. This is what he's trying to do. He's just trying to get a read from Baby Spider. Stacking his chips. You can see he is looking at Baby Spider as he's making these movements. Now, he basically said, if you have the 10, you have the 10. He does not have the 10, and let's see if they're going to run it twice. Yeah, they're running it twice. So that's not it. Oh, that is it. There's the flush, and there's the straight. So Baby Spider going to be scooping here. Hit a flush and hit a straight. So they did get it corrected, and we saw the Baby Spider hit the flush the first time, hit the straight the second time. So that win is going to take Baby Spider to $2,000 profit. Vagabond, who's in for $2,000, is up over $1,000. So kind of a awkward flop there. I know it's easy to say once you see their hands, but I think in that situation, it was 420 pre-flop, so that was 840 in the pot plus what was plus the people that called the initial 25. So it was about $900 in the pot, and Bravo bet in $200 on the flop with his aces. The board was paired. So I don't know what the quote-unquote right play is there, but I think you're either checking or putting out a big bet there. I don't think the $200 bet there in the long run is profitable. And as I said, it's very easy to say once you're able to see the player's cards, but there was over $900 in that pot, and he just bet $200 on the flop. If he puts out a big bet there, Baby Spider knows that he has aces or kings. I'm pretty sure Baby Spider still knew that he had aces or kings, but he was getting a very good price. It was $200 to win 1,100, and there was a lot of turns that could help out his hand, and he hit one of those turns. As I said, very easy to be results oriented, being able to see the player's cards. But I feel that on that flop, it's either a check or a big bet from Bravo.
You raise? All right, I raise.
Oh, Baby Spider raising it up. I believe it's 45. You're just joining us. I don't know how long you've been with us, but if you're just joining us, literally the first pot that Baby Spider sat down, and he wasn't even involved in it. I don't think he was even involved, but he sat down, and he sat down in the big blind. The player to his left straddled, and there was an all in that hand. And he wasn't even involved, but he just brings the action.
Va a correr, después se lo ves, ¿cuánto? Va a correr. No te metas porque este pedo es entre él y yo.
And Don Richard with the aces putting on the 4-bet.
No, que te dije, iba a estudiar.
Baby Spider calling once again, double suited. Double suited. That is the key. And you got all the cards working together for a straight and a flush. El Chewy looks like he's making the call. No, Chewy folds. But Rolando makes the call. Rolando with just jack high. All right. Have we got the information for this player yet? Because I know he took Isaac's boss seat. Let's see if his name pops up. I think he's played on the stream before. Christian. So it's Christian. Maybe not.
Mira, chinga su madre, güey, caiga. Yes.
So 3 ways to the flop we go. Don Richard is announcing that he is all in.
Me salió el 3.
Yep. Don Richard going all in dark and tells the table, I hit the 3. He's telling the truth about that.
¿Me enseña una?
He's asking the table if they want to see the 3.
Uno.
Baby Spider would call here, I think, if Rolando wasn't behind him. So Rolando going to call with his straight draw and his flush draw.
¿Cuánto le quisieras menos?
Don Richard, I think, just runs it once. So Rolando going to need a heart or going to need a 4. Those are his immediate outs. Can also go runner, runner straight with the jack 8. And Don Richard and Rolando hits the straight right away. Baby Spider saying he folded pocket 4s, and he was right. He did fold 2 black 4s. So Don Richard going to take a big hit.
Miras ese flop ahí. Pero ya que lo ves, si pagas 125. Pero si lo ves, pagas.
Baby Spider up no longer 2,000. So the 4 right on the turn for Rolando. So 2 more hands for Omaha, and then we're going to go back to Hold'em. We have about an hour left in the stream, well, less than an hour, as the dealers switch out every hour. So when this dealer, Enrique, goes by Kobe, when he sat down, it's exactly an hour from there. Vagabond thinking that he is the big blind, but he is the straddle if he wants it. And looks like he wants it.
Barrels.
So normally we stream on the main channel, TCH Live, and as a matter of fact, there was a thumbnail to start streaming on that channel as we do every Friday night. But instead, we are streaming on the secondary channel, Texas Card House. So if you were looking for this stream and it took you a while to find it, this is one of the reasons why I remind everybody you do want to subscribe to the secondary channel. We do have a lot of people subscribed to the main channel, TCH Live Poker. That is the main channel. Have over 50,000 subscribed there. We only have 2,000 subscribed to this channel, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button just in case if they move streams. And this does happen from time to time. A lot of times what happens is there's a big tournament going on at another location, so they want to stream that final table. And that's the reason why, well, one of the reasons why the secondary channel was set up. That way there is always a channel available to stream for any of the locations. Don Richard reloading another 1,000. Thought somebody had Queen 10. Somebody has clubs though. A lot of players have clubs. Ooh, this turn can get crazy. We have King high clubs versus Ace high clubs versus Queen high clubs. Vagabond hit in the set of deuces. Real action turn here. So bottom set for Vagabond. He has the best hand right now. Gonzalo folded the ace high flush draw with a straight draw. Wow. And Vagabond's going to wind up with the best hand with the set of deuces. 3 trays. And it's going to check around. And he's going to win the pot. I think we have somebody taking Fernando's seat with the anime hat. Don't see that every day. Still haven't seen a smile from Vagabond. And that's because he's winning. He's up on the stream. I would hate to see what he looks like if he was losing. He's actually up 1,400. You can see there on the bottom. He's in for 2,000. Oh, he's actually in for more than 2,000. He bought him for 500, lost that first buy-in, and then came in for 2,000. No, rebought 4,000. Whatever the math is. And I guess they're not taking that seat. Very action game here tonight. Baby Spider raising it up to 15. I don't know what he has, but I'm pretty sure all his cards are going to be working with each other. Most of his cards are working with each other. The ace working with the 3, 3 working with the 5, 5 also working with the ace, and he has hearts. Vagabond with queens. Vagabond also with 8s. And the ace coming right on the flop. 2 pair for Rolando. Baby Spider continuation bet for 30. Rolando just making the call. Vagabond not done with his hand just yet. Vagabond picking up diamonds. Let's see if he continues. Baby Spider has 2 pair and the blocker for the diamond. I think he's going to be sizing up pretty big here. Yeah, he bets 100. Vagabond calling to see a queen or a diamond, but he will make the fold. Oh, he would have hit the flush. Baby Spider gonna check it and show the ace-5 for the win. And looks like we have somebody taking that last seat. While they get his information in, I will remind you about the Trailblazer Series taking place this week and next week, as it is running through the 19th through the 29th. And yes, DGM Poker, we switched channels, but it wasn't planned. We should be streaming on the main channel. There was a little mix-up. So, day 2 of this tournament is going to be not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, the 29th. And actually, let me just verify. So back to Hold'em, they go. And we'll get back to the Trailblazer Series. So seat 6. I don't think they have his information in yet. Rolando making it 25. And Don Richard, he's got at least ace-king here, I would say. He's got at least ace-king. I don't know what his hand is yet, but he's putting on a 3-bet. And Rolando's going to call the 3-bet. And I think Don Richard has like pocket jacks, but minimum ace-king. Let's see. So somebody's cars didn't get scammed properly, and that's what the hiccup is. So the dealer letting the production crew know the action. And we still haven't seen Don Richard's cards yet. So the cards got scammed properly, I think. It was just that the action was not inputted properly. Oh, so, yeah, so the reason for the delay is actually, sounded like I said Ashley, is seat 6. They thought they input his information, but they didn't. And the dealer dealt the cards. So the system thought that it was 8-handed, but it was actually 9-handed. So that's what the delay is. They did not input a player in seat 6, and a player was in seat 6. So I think they're going to clear it up. It just takes a little while to go through all of the different graphics on the action tracker. So I was going to say, I think this might be a mystery hand. The dealer just retelling the story about the action. Rolando open to 25. Don Richard 3-bet. And I'm very curious to see Don Richard's hand. His hand should be probably, yeah, it's ace-king. Yeah, I said minimum ace-king, maybe jacks. So the 4-bet to 100, everything should get cleared up all right. Now we're good to go. So Rolando out in front right now with the pocket pair. And let's see if Don Richard continues on here. Rolando checks. doesn't like the queen. And Richard's going to represent the queen. Oh, Rolando not going to fold. Is that a queen or a jack? It's another queen. That's a bad card for Don Richard. And Rolando knows that. Yeah, the board pairing with a queen. Yep. So, Rolando calling the continuation bet, wasn't 100% sure if his opponent had the queen, but he wasn't ready to let go of his pocket pair. And then once the board paired the queen on the turn, it made it even less likely that his opponent had the queen, so he bet his pocket fives and took down the pot. Yeah, so DJ Poker in the YouTube chat, and obviously you can't see this, but the commentator, myself, we have a different setup. I do not have access to the YouTube chat, so it's literally just pulling it up on my phone. And we are using a new software to stream, which I believe is one of the reasons why we're on the wrong, the quote-unquote wrong channel tonight, as there was a stream set up for TCH Live Poker, TCH Live Poker. That is the main YouTube channel, but we are streaming on the secondary channel. Everybody with an ace. It looks like we got Peter. Peter with the best ace. He's going to be making the call. Peter actually was the first, well, one of two players. There was two players that bagged the first flight yesterday of the Trailblazer Series, and he was one of the two players. So he is already qualified for day number 2 of the Trailblazer Series. And he has actually fired another bullet today trying to get the multiple bags as your best bag board works. Rolando with the worst ace pre-flop, but he hits the 3. Now he has the best hand. Also has the ace of clubs. And I believe Peter making the fold. Yeah, Peter making the fold. So Peter firing another entry, and that does two things for him. If you look on the bottom, the lower right-hand corner, you have the bag bonus. You can bring your 2 largest stacks forward, and if you have more than 2 stacks, you will get a min cash for the extra bags. Also, the unlimited hour bonus. So if you have the most entries for the Trailblazer Series, then you will get to play for free next year, unlimited hours for all of 2025 for the most flights played. So 2 great bonuses there for the Trailblazer Series as we are back to the hold'em portion of the round of each. Rolando with an ace once again, and he makes the call again. Christian with the suited connectors, he will make the call. Vagabond with suited connectors with the min raise. So it is 125. A $5 bring in here for the hold'em, and as I said, that is a little unusual, but the reason why is because we're playing a round of each, and the way the software is set up, it makes it a lot easier for the production crew.
That's what I'm saying, because of you, because your small pot, only one time, cost me $5.
So a Vagabond making it 10, getting the 3-bet from Baby Spider out of the big blind. El Chewy thinking about it, but he's going to fold his king. And we're going to go 3 ways to the flop as Rolando also making the call with his ace. Was able to draw out last hand. Pretty big flop for Vagabond here as he flops a flush draw. Let's see if he bets his flush draw. Nobody with the ace of clubs. A bet should take this down, but Vagabond checks. Oh, what a spicy turn. The ace of clubs on the turn gives top pair to the other 2 opponents, but it gives the flush to Vagabond. Baby Spider with the 10 of clubs. And he is going to call. If another club comes, he's actually going to be good. So the club missing, Vagabond should be winning this pot. As Rolando puts out a bet. I don't think Vagabond is raising, and he does not. He just announced call, and that should get Baby Spider to fold. Vagabond will show his flush, and the rich get richer. So that's going to take Vagabond up to 1,900. Both him and Baby Spider in for 1,900. So 2 flights daily for the Trailblazer Series, 1 p.m. at 6 p.m. every day. It started yesterday on Thursday the 19th, and it's running every day this weekend, all of next week, with the exception of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But other than that, there will be 2 flights a day, one at 1 p.m., one at 6 p.m. Less than a $200 buy-in for more than a $50K guarantee. And I feel pretty comfortable saying that it's going to go over the guarantee. I feel pretty comfortable. Not guaranteed to go over the guarantee, but on pace to. And of course, if it was the other way around, see this happen with a lot of the card clubs. If they're on pace for an overlay, the card houses, they announce that right away, let everybody know. So if you're on pace for the overlay and announce it, then the opposite should hold true. If you're on pace for a bigger prize pool, you should also announce that. So currently on pace for a bigger prize pool than advertised. Oh, clubs once again. This time it is Baby Spider with the clubs. Gut shot straight draw for Rolando. And Bravo going to be betting his pocket 5s. El Chewy making the call. No, El Chewy folded. Rolando calling with his gut shot here. Baby Spider actually folded. So the 9 high does not want to see a 5. Oh, that's actually a great card for the 9 high as he picks up more outs now. A king can come, an 8 can come to counterfeit the 5s. Be gross if he gets counterfeited. Well, actually, the king's not an out. It is 8, 7, so an 8 can come to get counterfeited. There we go. Got it corrected. So 8, 9, or 6 are the live outs. And somebody put a bet. That's what we're waiting on. I don't know if it was Bravo or Rolando, but somebody bet in the turn here. It was Bravo betting the turn. Oh, is Chewy still in this hand? Yeah, Chewy flopped the flush draw. He had Queen 9 of diamonds. Yeah, so Chewy's still in this hand. Yeah, so it showed that Chewy folded on the flop, but he actually flopped the flush draw as that king was actually the 4 of diamonds. So Chewy's still in his hand. Bravo is not, and they will enter Chewy back into this hand. And both these players on draws. One player with queen high, one player with 9 high. Player with the 9 does not want to hit the 9, does not want to hit the 6 of diamonds. To the river we go. You can see Rolando's outs, not many. It's king of diamonds. He does not want to bluff here because El Chewy going to call him. Oh, it's going to go check, check. El Chewy hits his flush, but I think he was curious on what his opponent was calling with, and I think that's why he checked it down. This is the 3rd stop of the Trailblazer Series. Trailblazer Series will make a stop at every Texas Card House location across the state of Texas. There is also some bonuses for players in the series. The biggest bonus being a brand new car. That's right, whoever has the most points at the end of the series is going to win a brand new Chevrolet Trailblazer. Also, there is a 50K free roll for the top 50 in points. So if you played the tournament stop in October at TCA Social in Austin, or if you played last month at Texas Card House in Spring, then you have some points for the Trailblazer Series. Just playing in the event gets you points, and then of course if you cash, you get more points. If you final table, you get even more points, and if you win, then you get the most points. Well, big raise here. Don Richard with the ace-king suited raises it up to 150. So there was a $10 button straddle. 2 players called. And Don Richard hasn't won a hand in a while. He decided to put out a big raise here. Perhaps an over raise. $10 straddle from Baby Spider. Got calls from Peter, Rolando, and Christian. And then Don Richard, last time he had ace-king, he lost, so he decided to size it up. And Rolando in bad shape here. Needs a 10 to win or a 4 to chop. Oh, Don Richard folding his ace-king. Does Rolando show it? Does he show it? No, he doesn't. So some of the bonuses down here, 2x leader points. So if you know of somebody, or if you yourself played at any of the Trailblazer events previously, either at TCH Austin or Texas Card House Spring, especially if you made the final table, then you're going to be towards the top of the leaderboard where you can double your points by playing here. So those points are going to go towards the Trailblazer vehicle, and it's also going to go towards the 50K free roll. Also, there will be an automatic qualifier from this stop for the 50K free roll. And then I mentioned the other bonuses earlier, the bag bonus and the limited hour bonus. So got the bonuses. Even though the area down here in South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, pretty big area, especially when you take into account both sides of the border. Just the Rio Grande Valley area, easily over 1 million. But if you take into account the other side, which is extremely close, you have Reynosa, Mexico, Tamaulipas, Matamoros, and then you have the city of Monterrey, Mexico, the 3rd biggest city in Mexico, and that's less than 3 hours away from here. So big area down here, but not the biggest area compared to all of the Texas Card House. We're actually in the smallest metropolitan area, so giving players from out of town a reason to come to South Texas, and the Trailblazer Series is a great reason. Also, it's going to be in the 80s next week. 80 degrees down here in South Texas. Also, direct flights available from Las Vegas on Allegiant Air. Allegiant Air flies direct from Las Vegas into McAllen. Allegiant Air, very polarizing. People either love it or hate it. I do understand the hate, but you cannot beat a direct flight. Yes, there is no first class or business class on Allegiant Air, but it is less than a 3-hour direct flight. You don't have to worry about layovers. You don't have to worry about missing your connecting flight. And yes, they are going to charge you for your luggage, but keep in mind you do get one personal item for free, and that personal item can be a backpack. And if you're just coming for the weekend, you should be able to fit all your clothes in a backpack. Jack high flop, 2 hearts. Everybody missing, which is normally the case. Everybody going to check. Diamond coming on the turn. Bravo with the ace of diamonds. Rolando with the 10 of diamonds. And Bravo's going to be leading here with the ace of diamonds. And he will take down the pot. We are located 3 hours directly south of San Antonio. So depending on what part of San Antonio, depending on the traffic, I'm comfortable to say just over 3 hours. And once again, depending on the traffic and how fast you drive, comfortable to say just under 3 hours from Monterrey, Mexico. So once the button gets back to seat number 1, we will go back to Omaha. So have a couple more hands of Hold'em. Vagabond putting on the under the gun straddle. El Chewy calling with the crabs, the pocket threes. Baby Spider putting on the raise. Kind of a small raise. I think he's just trying to isolate here. Oh, Peter making the call here with the suited king. So he wanted to get position, and he's not going to get position with this 3-bet as 2 players behind him call. Vagabond will fold to 6-4, and El Chewy will call with the best hand. Baby Spider actually has the best equity right now with the ace-queen. Open-ended straight draw for Christian. Top pair for Peter. And Peter going to put out 125, so just over a pot, just over a half pot. Does Christian go with his hand, or does he make the call? It's basically half his stack. Doesn't have backdoor spades. I think if he had backdoor spades, he would go all in. Still has the open ender. He cannot make a straight without a 10 or a 5, and that's what he needs. Terrible turn for Christian. I don't know if Peter likes the turn either, as it does pair the board. Nah, he figures if his opponent has the 8, he's never folding. His opponent has $220 left. Pot's over $400. And Christian will get away. So one more hand of Omaha, and then we will go back to Hold'em. Did I just say the same thing? One more hand of Hold'em, and then we will go back to Omaha. There you go. El Chewy going to be put on the under the gun straddle here. Looks like 10. And it's 15. 15 is announced for hand 69. Actually, that is the interstate that is eventually going to run down here, I-69. For the past 25 years, the area down here in the Rio Grande Valley has been the largest metropolis area in the United States without an interstate running through it. But that is definitely changing, building roads all over the place. All right, here we go. Back to Omaha, and we're going to see 3 Omaha hands, and then we're going to end the stream. So looks like Gonzalo cashing out. So back to PLO, we will see 3 hands of PLO. The stream will end on hand number 72. So you got 70, 71, 72. 3 hands to go. $10 button straddle.
Me traigo el pinche igual con ese, güey. Es como la rechina, es como mi paladez.
So back to the 4 cards. Action's going to start to the left of the straddle. So Vagabond, your second biggest winner tonight, gets to see the 4 cards. I don't think this is worth a call, but he definitely has the chips to spare. He will make the call. Oh, his king high is suited. I didn't think the king high was suited. I thought it was jack high. So that does make sense. This is Peter's first time playing Omaha. So he has the ace king. Ace is not suited, but the king is. All the cards pretty much working with each other. The ace working with the king and the jack working with the 7. So everybody just going to call the straddle. We are going 7 ways to the flop. Looks like Don Richard has the best equity right now. Oh, and it's going to come 2 clubs. So Peter with the king high flush draw. But it looks like El Chewy, who's going to bet his set of deuces. Oh, Peter folds. No, wait. The flop was different. Excuse me. There is no ace of clubs on the flop. It did get corrected. So it's actually a 9 high flop. And the percentage is now getting corrected on the screen. So one of the cards got picked up wrong. But it's actually not that big of a deal when it happens on the flop because the production crew is able to correct it. Rolando looking for a diamond, and he will get a diamond. El Chewy still with the best hand. Probably does not like that 3, but I think he's pretty much decided that he's not folding a set. And Rolando getting a card for him to continue. Has a straight draw and now has a flush draw. Has 3 outs left. 3 live outs. So he has 2 pair. He can hit a 6 to make a full house. He can hit a diamond. He can also hit a 5 for a straight. And there's the diamond. El Chewy is not going to like it. Rolando will get the win. So 2 more hands to go. And before we go, like I said, I would like to remind you about the Trailblazer Series going on right now. As a matter of fact, there was a flight at 6 o'clock that I'm pretty sure is still going on.
No, yo prefiero dos pares.
Yo tengo Texas, güey.
Sí, yo sé. Que es un jugador, claro. Dos pares, un jugador.
The top 12.5% cash. The top 8% make day 2.
Yo no sé qué se pagaba. Yo chequeo, aunque caiga la mía, cayó la mía.
Are they running a satellite?
Thank you.
I thought the satellites were done. Good thing I checked.
Antes de que cayera. Que te dijeron que tenía.
All right, the main flight.
Tengo dos pares con el drone.
Is that the 6 o'clock flight? Yeah. The main flight they've already bagged, but there is a satellite going on. I thought the satellites were done. No, we're still running satellites. 9 o'clock. Bravo saying pot has ace king. The king is suited. The 5-3 also working together. This always happens at the end of, well, not always. I don't think it happened on Wednesday, although Wednesday stream for the most part was pretty good. But usually at the end of the stream, you see big pots happen as the players know the stream is getting ready to end, so they want to win a big pot before the stream is done. And we have a couple more hands left to go here, as it's going to come all spades. Nobody with spades, but Peter with the ace of spades, the quote-unquote naked ace. King, queen, get in there. Nobody with the king, queen, but somebody does have... No, nobody has a straight. Peter can actually bluff at this, but he just sat down, so I don't think he wants to get involved knowing the stream's getting ready to end. Rolando going to wind up winning here with a full house. So I guess it's a good thing Peter did not bluff. Rolando going to like the river. So last hand went runner, runner, flush. This hand he goes runner, runner, full house, and he will show. Oh, Baby Spider called with his straight. Baby Spider called with his straight. So I believe we have our last hand coming up here. I'm pretty sure these players are still playing. The stream is scheduled for 4 hours, but I'm pretty sure, especially on a Friday night, the players normally continue to play after the stream. And based upon the action that I've seen tonight, pretty comfortable saying this game is still going on once I leave my little booth here. All right, hand 72, final hand of the night. We can see Vagabond, the big winner thus far. Will that remain the same? So last hand, surprisingly, no straddle. Rolando with 8 high has pocket deuces. I think he might just call the $5. He's won the last 2 hands. And there's the call. It's a $5 bring-in. So he does call. Don Richard with the quick raise. Kind of a small raise. He has 7s, King Jack. Vagabond going to be making the call. And he has King Jack as well, but he has another Jack to go with it. Baby Spider folding a Jack, so 3 Jacks are not going to win this hand. And we're going 4 ways to a flop. Peter calling with his suited ace. It's going to come queen high, nobody with a queen. But Peter with an 8 and some backdoor clubs. Vagabond out in front right now with the Jacks. Checked around. So Vagabond just worried about the queen, puts out a small bet here. Peter going to be calling with his 8 and backdoor flush. It looks like Rolando going to be getting sticky here. And everybody calls. 9 coming on the turn. Jack 10 get in there. Nobody with the Jack 10. Vagabond still with the best hand. Peter second best, but it's going to go check around. River, the 7, and that's going to give Don Richard a set. Kind of a scary set, but he's still going to bet it. Don Richard tiene el 7, 3 7s. Y yo creo él va a ganar. Vamos a ver si alguien habla. Gana Don Richard. So Don Richard will take the last pot of the night, and I'm going to bounce out of the booth here and see if the game is still going on. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget about the Trailblazer Series running all week here at the Texas Card House.